Welcome to a brand new experience. This is Charm City Beat. This is my boy Jordan. We're here to talk Baltimore sports primarily today, Orioles and Ravens. So let's get into it. So what's up first?
Let's talk Ravens.
Let's talk Ravens. Right before we actually got here, we're filming on Tuesday. Right before we got here, I got a text alert saying the Ravens are starting Lamar Jackson. Now, we've had 2 weeks to watch him play. Like, what are your thoughts, man?
I think going into Atlanta, it's a coin flip with who you want to have start. I think Lamar Jackson and that run offense with him, orchestrating it against the 32nd ranked rush defense, does look promising. But if Matt Ryan gets going, gets rolling with that Atlanta offense, do you want him out there? You have never seen Lamar Jackson throw the ball a ton in the NFL.
He's had some good throws.
He has had good throws. He's had some bad throws. He's been a rookie. He's a rookie. But Joe Flacco gives you the best opportunity to sort of get in a shootout with a quarterback who was drafted in the same round as he was in 08. But doesn't matter. Lamar Jackson's the starter.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson's the starter. And like me and you have been talking about every week, I mean, it's been semi-polarizing, I think, at least amongst the fans. Some love him, some hate him. But I'm in the camp of I'm excited to see what's to come.
Every single game is an adventure with him. I think it's a good thing. It's like, what is he going to do next? Is it just he avoids the pass rush like no other quarterback I've
never seen somebody do that.
He keeps plays alive.
Yeah,
and he keeps the Ravens in the game. And they obviously won 2 games in a row. Before that, they lost 3 in a row. So I think they need good things.
Here's my thing: they're winning with Lamar. The team seems to play better. They seem more energetic.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not saying, I don't know what happens with Flacco with the injury. I mean, some people speculate, this could be a cop-out. Could be a legit injury. We don't know for certain. At least I don't. You probably do. But one thing I know for certain is the fact that the Ravens are winning. They're moving the ball again. And they're playing a run game that I haven't seen that good since the days of Ray Rice.
It's been 2012 was the last time they had back-to-back 200-yard games in a row.
Yeah, and I'm not even worried if it's the quarterback running. I mean, yes, it is not sustainable that, Lamar keeps running the way he had that first game. That can't happen every game. But at the end of the day, we're moving the ball. We're in the playoff hunt again, which most fans, we thought were done. But here we are.
And he made some good throws. I mean, he had a 74-yard bomb to Mark Andrews, a beautiful play. He had one to John Brown that was actually called back because of a holding, but it was a perfectly placed pass. There was a play where he ran to the right and then ran back across the field to find fellow first-rounder Hayden Hurst for a first down with a clutch pass. No one else in the NFL can probably make that play.
At all.
And he did it because of his legs, his speed.
That's the thing. And, one thing I've been very, critical about is the Ravens O-line. It is not the best O-line. This is the best O-line the Ravens have ever had. In fact, it's probably one of the worst. Yep. But I went to the game where they played against Cincinnati. I was there. And what I saw was what the Ravens have probably needed for the last 3 years, is someone that can get away from the blitz and make plays on the run.
Yep.
And that's something that Flacco hasn't been able to do in quite some time.
Now the question is, he plays against Atlanta, say he does well, say the Ravens win. Do you start him in 2 weeks against the Kansas City Chiefs? Another defense that is not that good. They're winning because of their offense. Obviously, I think the defense is playing better late.
Yeah.
But do you like him or do you like Joe Flacco in these big games? Because there's San Diego in 3 weeks on the road on Saturday night football.
And see, that's where it gets really tricky for me. It's like, yes, Kansas City's defense isn't that good. But again, like I said in the episode of Third and Goal, so go watch that. If they get into a shootout with Kansas City, and is Lamar going to be able to respond with enough offense to stay in it? But that's my question.
I will say this. The Ravens had multiple drives, 15-play drives, where you're keeping the offense off the field. And they do say that the offense is your best defense. So if you're keeping Mahomes off the football field
that's true
for half of a quarter, you got a good shot at winning.
If we continue this rushing offense that we've had, there you go. I think that has to be the game plan. Now, you asked, does he start against Kansas City? My answer, yes.
Yeah.
I say give it to him, and this is my argument. I've had this argument on the internet for the last 2-3 weeks. People don't want to rush him in, this, that, and the other. Well, he's not going to get any better if he's just sitting there. He's going to get dry legs. He's out there playing. He's getting playing time, getting experience. You don't want him deer in headlights out there. And I think that goes to credit some of the trickery plays that they were running earlier in the season, maybe it gave him a little bit of confidence to go out there and have a little bit of swagger to actually just go out there and play ball. Yes, he is not the best quarterback right now, but again, you get him comfortable in the pocket, you get him a better O line in a draft, maybe some free agency pickups. You have what could be probably the next good Baltimore quarterback.
And I'll assume Joe Flacco is healthy. His hip's going to be healed by that time. But they're not going to tip their hand on who they're going to start.
No.
John Harbaugh yesterday on his Monday evening press conference said, we're not going to tell anybody because the opponents don't want to. He doesn't want the opponents to know who's going to have the ball. Makes it tougher to game plan when you've got to prepare for a guy who can run
100%.
and a guy who can throw.
And again, I think, maybe they will put Joe in only for the fact of let him prove himself. I think what Joe has done for the franchise, the Super Bowl, multiple playoff appearances, it's almost like a respecting to give him this opportunity. Like, here, we want you to go out there, prove yourself, and then let the chip fall.
Yep.
But yeah, on to our next topic. We're going to talk some Orioles news.
It's a big week for Oriole baseball.
Big week.
They came through. They finally hired their GM, Mike Elias, from the Houston Astros. The key cog in the analytic movement in baseball. He's a big reason why they went from 100 losses to 100 wins in the first World Series championship in team history.
Yeah,
Mike Elias.
And as a fan, I'm excited. I mean, when you have someone that has the know-how to get the team to where we need to be, I'm excited. I mean, again, like I said, I don't know the ins and outs of baseball. I will admit that. I'll be the first to admit that. That's why I have you here. But in a sense, from a fan point of view, this is new blood. This is someone that's young, too. Like, he's really
He's
young.
35 years old, yeah.
It's bad when the coaches are as old as you, and it's like, whoa. It's like one thing for the players to be as old as you, but now the coaches are like almost your age. Like, oh, God, come on. But no, I have a lot of confidence in what he's going to bring in. You were talking about some of the managers that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll get to the managers a little bit. I'm going to keep on Mike Elias just a little bit. Talking about an Ivy Leaguer, went to Yale, who went to the Cardinal system and went over to the Houston Astros, and he brought with him the science behind the sport of baseball. And using analytics, he was able to, the Astros had more MLB players come up through their partners than any other team. They won the World Series, and now he's bringing that to Baltimore, and he's bringing with him their assistant GM over there. It's going to be, I think it's a good thing for Oriole baseball. I walked away from that press conference super impressed. And another thing is that the fact that when he was there, two of the owners were there. You never see the Angelos come out in public, and both of his sons were there. To me, it's a whole new era, not just a new GM, not just a rebuild, but is it going to be a more transparent Oriole system going forward? And
I think that's something that's really exciting for fans. I mean, when you have the owner out there in the front say, hey, we support this guy, this is our guy, that says a lot about what the direction we're going. And again, this is another youth resurgence. I mean, I think what you were saying, I think we were talking about in the last episode, we were talking about where it's like we've kind of been in this like Stone Age baseball mindset for so many years, and now here we are in the 21st century, So there's a lot of excitement there.
I agree. And they brought over the Astros analytic guy who used to be a NASA engineer. I mean, that's how serious they are about the science thing.
That is insane.
Yeah.
But now, NASA landing on Mars.
But the next step is getting a manager who's going to replace Buck Showalter, who's been with the team in 2010, took him to the playoffs. 14 years of losing baseball ended with Buck Showalter. The Buck stopped there, and I mean, I'm interested to see what they do. Mike Elias told the media that he wants to get a veteran manager in there. There's only a few options out there for guys that want to take over a rebuilding program. Yeah, it probably means that the bench coach for the Astros now, Joe Votto, probably may not be the manager, even though I thought that'd be a good idea to do.
We could.
So some of the names out there. Jeff Banish was one of them, the former Texas Ranger manager. Manny Acta, who's with the Indians and Nationals, veteran coach in 2014. He's an option. Ron Washington, the former Texas Ranger manager. Okay. There are some guys that their names are being floated as possible Oriole managers.
How long do you think it will be before we find out?
That's the thing. Mike Elias did not give an answer. He said it's a process. It's a long process, and he doesn't want to have a timetable to pick who's when the man. You'd like to do it before spring training, obviously, which is in February.
It's not that far away.
I think Fan Fest is in December or January, and I think the fans want to see someone at the face of this rebuilding process at that point. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's an exciting time in Baltimore. I mean, it was looking bleak most of the season, but now we have some young blood. The owners are out in front, and I think we're in a good place. I mean, we might not go to the World Series, might not go even to the playoffs, but we're in a position for a good future. So stay tuned for that.
And the first overall pick
That's
in the draft.
true. Hopefully we do good with that one. But that was our first episode of Charm City Beat. I'm excited for this new era of LitTube. We have the website, thisislitTube.com. One other thing, though, before we close out, there is a segment on here, This Week in Baltimore Sports History, but we're going to go a little bit down south to 495, talk about Sean Taylor, who did pass away this week. One of the best safeties to play the game. Not enough can be said. Rest in peace to Sean Taylor, but this week was the anniversary of his death, so I did want to bring that up.
To keep it Baltimore related, though, I don't know if you remember this, but the same week that he died, the Ravens played the undefeated Patriots on Monday Night Football, and I remember Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, and Will Spaghetti, former Hurricanes like Sean Taylor, had like a really moving pregame. I guess you'd say they honored him pregame, and they almost beat the Patriots that night. I remember the very passionate, driven game because they're basically playing with their boss brother.
But yeah, again, thoughts and prayers to Sean Taylor, the spirit of Sean Taylor and his family. But nonetheless, we are Charm City Beat. We are here to stay. Stay tuned for more. Take care.